Hi everyone, this is Jen Martian and today we are going to play One Piece Voyage Chronicles slash Strawhat Chase. We are going to be discussing the new released character, Wano Luffy. So, is he any good? Is he something that you want to wail on, or is he something that can be used at the background or just good to have? So, without further ado, let us now check into the his skills, and together let's check whether he is something you want to get. All right, what is his typing is defense. With these stats, I have no idea how to check like the base stat right now, so it doesn't really matter to me. But based on the skills, let's see if he's anything that you wanted to get. First things first, Rubber Fire Fist. So it has a 4-turn cooldown, so it's quite slow to activate. But he deals 80% damage to a single target to the front, plus 13% based on self-max HP. So this is true damage and reduces target speed by 35% and increase 40% def for all team members that last 2 turns. So if you can make him go first, this is something really good that gives you the def and all of that. The damage wise, it's not really good, so he's a very defensive unit like as a defender. But with the base based on the max HP, if you can actually build his HP up very high, this might be something really good. I haven't seen like the full potential of this one. I haven't seen that much video of this, but in my opinion, this is a pretty you will want this skill for its defensive capabilities. The single target damage is just a bonus because most of the time your opponents in front will be like tanks or somebody that is hard to kill in a way, right? So his second skill is the Luffy Taro. So you can see here he has a damage reduction 10%, which is very good. And then every 3% lost HP shall increase the damage reduction by 1%. So this seems like it doesn't have a cap. The cap basically is the 3% loss on your HP. So let's say you have 9 so for 30% HP loss, you get a additional 10% damage reduction. So most likely, let's say let's say you have 90% of your HP is gone. That's like a 30% damage reduction increase. Though I don't know if that's still very helpful because by that time you only have like very little health. Anyway, it's still a very good ability for someone who's tanking. For someone, yeah, you'll get to that later. Alright, so the next ability is Rubber Gun. So it's also a 4-turn cooldown, so you won't be able to have any skill on the 3rd and 4th phase, 4th round. But it says here, attack a single target to the front and deals 30% based on self-max HP damage. Ignore 100% of target's defense. Won't trigger a crit, but that's fine. Your HP will probably be so high that it just kills anyone in front. So plus another hit of hit with 90% of lost HP. Grant a self shield that can take 20%. Sorry, let me read that again, the last part. So plus another hit with 90%. So basically there will be 2 damage that will hit your opponent. The first one is this one, the 30% based on your max on your max health, and then another 90% based on the lost HP that you have. This is very, very strong. So in a way, how you want to build Wano Luffy, just build him with a ton of HP. That's it. He's good to go. And with this, he also grants himself a self shield that can take 20% max HP and lasts 2 turns. How I see his defensive capabilities is off the charts compared to what we are seeing right now. He's just a very beefy tank. Very helpful in any team. If you want to have like a defensive team on defensive tank on your team. Now next one, this one is one of the key skills that Wano Luffy has. As you can see here, it says Decision. at the beginning of each turn, you share 50% of incoming damage with a friendly unit that has the lowest HP. So if that unit takes a hit, 35% to counter attack with basic attack. Last one turn, can't be activated other damage share skills at the same time. So it will not be combined with Josu's skill or something of the like. Basically, it's you can actually ignore this last one turn because it technically just re-triggers it so that you can he can choose whoever is the lowest HP for that current round. So every turn it checks who has the lowest HP so he can protect that. This 50% incoming damage is very helpful. It ensures that most of your weak units will not die, especially with the skills with the people running like Zoro or anyone that targets the Wano Zoro. You mean the one that targets the weak units, right? He's the perfect defense. It means that if you have Wano Luffy in your team, it kinda ensures that your weak units will not die on second turn with this ability in place. So, in my opinion, this Wano Luffy will not be very helpful in your team unless he is at 10 star. Because at 10 star, he takes 50%, he shares 50% of the damage, which most of the time will not kill your subunits in one hit. So that's the thing. You don't, if anything below than 10 stars, Wano Luffy might not be as good as you might seem, as it seems. So in a way, your weak units might still die from one hit because 35. Let's just check like how much. 20%, that's just a little damage that he's sharing. So 80% is still gonna go to the weak unit. So if that's a crit or something else, the weak HP unit will still die. Now, we've been talking about boosting his HP to the maximum and all of that, right? So just let's see here, like how much is actually the damage that you can add into his attack. So if you see here, it says the first skill is not that one. This skill is actually says 30% based on self max HP. How high can your HP can go? Let's see. Currently, let's just check one of my units. Let's say a tank unit because he's basically a tank. Let's just compare him to the tank that I have, which is who's this? Sengoku. He has 513,000 HP, and 30% of that is 150,000. So 150,000 damage, but I'm not really building what you call the Sengoku as an HP build, but you might want to build him more of that. But in this case, you can his normal attack that ignores any defense can deal 150,000 damage on itself alone. That is talking about the second skill, the third skill technically. Yes. Sorry for jumping around because I don't have him. So here, yeah. So that's 30%. And then, as a bonus, if you've taken a lot of damage already, you have this. 90%, you take another 90% additional damage to the HP that you have lost. So if in case your Luffy is like very 50% already, you're doing that much extra damage because like 10% is not really meaningful in my opinion. So that's technically the whole HP loss that you have. You will still give that to your opponent. So, yep. So that is Wano Luffy. What do I think of him? I think he's very strong. If you are going to build a full pirate team, I would say I would really want to have a Wano Luffy. Regardless if you're just going to have a contention for who is the strongest tank in the moment, I can say Wano Luffy is one of those solo tank that you can have that can still protect your team. So much like Sengoku, I would say both of them are on par with that, because some people are saying that Jozu is actually one of better good tanks, but in my opinion, Jozu is like more of an off tank. You need another tank in conjunction with Jozu, so you'll be having two tanks in your team for him to be effective. But for just solo tank, I'd say he's very up there. So Wano Luffy, Sengoku, and then probably Marco if you want the healing type style. But Marco is not necessarily protecting the whole team. He just protects himself and he doesn't die. But Wano Luffy can at least mitigate the death of your weaker HP units when he is there. So I'd say he's one of those top tier units for tanks. And let's not forget about the New World buggy that we have discussed earlier. So he's also one of the contenders for that. So yep. So that is just my short review on how strong is Wano Luffy. Learned something and enjoy this short video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.